Little by little, day by day, what is meant for you will find its way. Good morning, dear children. I hope you all are fine and in good health. This is a very unusual situation that we all are facing. Well, children, I am Mrs. Harmanpreet from Kendriya Vidyalaya number 2, Army Kent, Pathankot. I am going to teach you heredity and evolution, and in my upcoming videos, you will be finding the topic on evolution.
Dear children, before we start with this video, I presume that by now you must be acquainted with a few terms like chromosomes, genes, DNA, progeny, variations, etc. As I will be using these in my videos to explain the subtopics covered under the heading evolution. So topic evolution is subdivided into acquired and inherited traits, speciation, evolution and classification, evolution by stages, evolution not to be equated with progress. We all see a large number of different species of organisms on Earth. Have you ever imagined from where have these all organisms come into existence? Many questions strike our mind, like how and from where did such variety of organisms come into existence on this Earth? How did the human beings evolve? It's not like first human just appeared one day and the race started. Every species, including humans, that we see today are the continuous and gradual process called evolution. All species that are present today on the earth are the result of some basic forms of organisms. Children, you must be knowing that the basic event in reproduction is the creation of DNA copy which bring variation. These variations during reproduction is the basis for evolution. Therefore, we can say evolution is a gradual formation of new organisms from the pre-existing primitive organisms by the process of slow and steady change. Now let us understand how evolution takes place and what are the circumstances that lead to the evolution of species. So for this, let us analyze three different situations. Situation 1. Let us assume 12 red beetles that live on the bushes of green leaves. They grow their population by sexual reproduction and can hence generate variations. Let us also assume that some natural predators like the crows also live in the same habitat and eat these red beetles. Now, what would happen? There would be lesser number of red beetles available for reproduction. Now, all of a sudden, a color variation arises due to sexual reproduction, such that a green beetle is produced instead of red. Moreover, this green beetle will pass its color to next progeny and so on, so that all the progeny of beetles become green. This green color beetle remain hidden in the leaves due to its color, and the crow would not be able to differentiate from the leaves due to its color. The red beetle will be continuously picked up by the crows. And finally, the population of red beetles will decrease enormously, while the population of green beetles will increase. Now, consider the second situation. Again, we have the red beetles and the color variation arises due to sexual reproduction. But this time, instead of green color beetle, we have a blue colored beetle. Again, this blue colored beetle can pass its color to the progeny so that all its progeny beetles are of blue color. This time the crow can equally see red and the blue beetles on the bushes. Therefore, there are equal number of chances of crows eating both types of beetles. Now, what will happen? The population of blue beetles will initially increase very slowly as they can be eaten by the crows along with the red ones. But gradually it starts increasing like those of red, and both are almost equal. Now at that point, an elephant comes and stamps on the bushes where red beetles are living and killing most of them. By chance, very few beetles survive, and that too blue ones, and a very few red beetles. These beetles will slowly expand its population, but this time it would have more blue colored beetles. If you observe in both the situations, a rare variation became a common characteristic of a population. Alternatively, we can say frequency of an inherited trait changed over generations. Now, since genes control the traits, therefore frequency of genes in a population changed over generations. This change in frequency of genes in a population is the essence of the idea of evolution. But there are interesting differences in the two situations. The variations in the first situation became common because of the survival advantage. The crows could not see the green beetle due to its color. Therefore, the green color of the beetle gave a survival advantage and its population increased. So the variation of green color was naturally selected. This is natural selection. But if we look at the second situation, the color change is not providing any survival advantage to the beetles. Both the red and the blue beetles are equally visible to the crow and are equally eaten by them. The color change became a common characteristic just because of the accident caused by the elephant and not due to survival advantage. So accidents caused a small population can change the occurrence of some genes in the population. This is the notion of genetic drift, which provides diversity without any adaptation. Now, let us consider a third situation. In this situation, there are no crows, but the beetle population increases. The bushes on which they are feeding start suffering from a disease. Some bushes start dying of the disease, and there would be food scarcity of beetles. As a result, the beetles would be poorly nourished, and the average weight of the adult beetles would decrease. After a few years, plant disease gets eliminated. There will be plenty of food available for the beetles to have. Now, what would happen? Weight of the beetle that was reduced due to starvation, it will not change the DNA in the germ cell. The low weight is not the trait to be inherited by the progeny of the starving beetle. The starved beetle would regain the weight and would be normal. Therefore, decrease in the weight of beetle due to starvation is not evolution, since the change is not inherited over generations. The traits like the loss of weight in the beetles is acquired over time. Such traits are called acquired traits.